Hi! Hello! How is everybody? Hello and welcome to Pint of Science Kenya! Yay! The next 3 days are going to be so exciting. I cannot wait. We have so much lined up for you guys. We have amazing speakers coming on with amazing topics. We're going to have quizzes and prizes and laughter and dancing. Ooh! Who is as excited as I am? So, welcome to Pint of Science Kenya for the next 3 days. We are going to enjoy ourselves. We are going to talk about different things. And I hope you will enjoy it. Yes. So, for today, we're going to talk about the planet Earth. Yay! The indigenous people and how we all relate and interact. And ooh, I cannot wait. I am looking forward to that with an amazing speaker, Johansen Obanda. Yes. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the ride. Yay! My name
Bagari. Oh,
video that just illustrates what we are about to do today. And so I'm just going to introduce what Pint of Science is. Pint of Science is an event that happens their work, and they also get to explain what they're doing in a relaxed and comfortable way with no pressure. It happens in pubs and hotels and cafes in a way that scientists can be able to understand that can be able to portray again just to create their own public engagement events and facilitate a dialogue between scientists and non-scientists. So as we are here, we are trying to create a dialogue between the scientists and the non-scientists, and everything that we're going to discuss and talk about is going to help us to understand more about science, especially those who are not engaged in science or those who are not involved in science. So I hope you enjoy and I hope you learn something. Whether or not you're involved in science, I hope you will get to learn something. Yes. The attendees have an opportunity to directly ask questions to the researchers, and then the researchers respond to the questions that which way to third session. I hope it will be fun. Enjoy.
Biodiversity is a term that represents the total variety of all life on Earth. That's a big thing to sum up. Thousands of different wild habitats, millions of different species, billions of different individuals, and the trillions of different characteristics they all have. The total biodiversity of our planet is immense. Which is a good thing, because the more biodiversity, the more secure all life on Earth is, including ourselves. Only when life is at its most varied, vigorous, biodiverse, can we hope to thrive. We may not know it, but we need towering forests across 1/3 of the land surface to lock away carbon and keep the climate stable. We need millions of pollinators and billions of soil organisms and megatons of plankton to keep the food we eat in supply. We need strange plants deep in jungles to create our medicines, and coral reefs and mangrove swamps to protect the coasts we depend upon. Our planet's biodiversity provides all the things we need for free. But it will only do so if there's lots of it, and at the moment it's under attack. In the last 50 years, our activities have dramatically reduced biodiversity across the globe. We've snuffed out habitats, reduced populations of wild animals by 60%, and even driven whole species extinct. The number of lions in Africa has dropped by 65%. The number of individual flying insects in Europe has dropped by 75%. The number of bluefin tuna in the Pacific has dropped by 95%. Biodiversity is dropping everywhere and fast. This is catastrophic for nature and therefore ourselves. We talk about climate change a lot, but biodiversity loss is as important an issue. How do we stop this loss of life? How do we ensure that biodiversity, our planet's vital statistic, begins to increase again? In fact, we already know exactly what to do. Follow Our Planet. Visit ourplanet.com and watch the series on Netflix.
Hi everyone. So we might have had hitches, um, and Stefan is going to be back soon. So at this point, I'm going to welcome Caroline Yaga on board to tell us a bit about her project. And just before we start our presentation tonight about Indigenous people and biodiversity, welcome.
Okay, hello everybody. Hey, Peter Pan. I hope you can hear me. Should I continue?
Yes,
Yeah, okay. My name is Karin
yes,
Yaga. I'm a teacher by profession. I'm also vice president of Central Africa. This is a club that was just started by a few um, organizers in Nigeria, in Abuja, Nigeria. And in Science World Africa, we have been able to collaborate with different stakeholders and coordinators from different parts of Africa. We have I'm representative for Kenya. We also have coordinators from other countries such as South Africa. We have Egypt. We have Ethiopia. In Science Squad, we are actually basically the aim of the club is to entice and to put together students across Africa. Actually, we are basing on science students in secondary schools, and we help them to engage in science education for the purposes of STEM development and for economic development across Africa. In Science Squad, we are also the main goals of the club is for science education, science research, and science policy. So we engage students in secondary schools so that we can be able to embrace them for economic development. Yeah, and also this organization has its basic in ensuring that we are able to increase the diversifying scientific workforce across Africa. Yeah, and we also have we normally have what we call the science battle of brains. This is a quiz where we hold quiz every weekend. And on Saturdays, we have students converging together, and on Zoom, we hold quiz for competition purposes, and then the winner gets prizes. And then every week, we are able to allow students to meet together in WhatsApp, and we do revision of each and every question that was covered. So we normally have science, we do biology, we do chemistry, we do physics, and we do mathematics. And so we are able to allow students to talk and to give their feedback and to be more elaborative about these four subjects because we know that it's actually the main reason why students are not performing very well in Africa. So within STEM, that's the main reason why we are doing with Science for Africa. This is actually an organization that is starting also in Kenya. Actually, as a coordinator in Kenya, bringing together many students from across Kenya, and we are allowing them to interact with each other and to enable them to get to know the facts about STEM education because we know in most schools, especially in public schools, we don't have very good delivery. So with science code, you're able to enable the students to interact and to be able to understand science at a better level than only the national level. So we are bringing on board international level for science development. Yeah, that's basically the main thing of Science Code Africa. Yes. Thank you. Yes, I'm done.
Thank you, Caroline. I think you're experiencing some technical challenges. Yeah, but I'm glad about what the project you presented, Science Squad, and the work that you're doing with high school students. Yeah, yeah, I
Yeah.
believe that that takes science in a high new level, especially the children who are, I mean, students who are trying to get a grasp on science, especially going towards higher education here in Kenya. So thank you, and I hope like you enjoy the rest of the show tonight. Yeah, so
Thank you.
great, great, thank you. So I'm going
Thank
to
you.
invite Stephanie back, and Stephen is going to take us through the next session. Just before we start our presentation tonight about indigenous people and biodiversity. So as we fix the technical fix that we have tonight, we're gonna play a clip about indigenous communities and how they're trying to save biodiversity. So in my country, we have so many indigenous communities, and slowly by slowly, the cultural practice of these indigenous communities are fading because of the rapid development and civility that's happening um, right now. And we're going to see how um, the state currently and what we could do to rescue the moment or the situation that we are in. So, Stephanie, welcome back, and you're going, and Stephanie is going to usher us into some video clip, and then I'm going to come back and speak tonight. Thank you. Hey, Stephanie. Hi. Is everything all right? Okay, let's jump into the video and back in a short while. Great.
Ah, it's me again. I hope you guys are enjoying yourselves so far. Let us know what you guys think. Let us know what you guys are feeling. Let us know any questions. So for now, we are going to have Johansen Obanda talking to us about different people and the diversity that is coming. Johansen is the director for Pint of Science Kenya. Ministry talks to communities about the chemical components that are present in plants and also helping farmers in the communities. He organizes science communication events and helps us with such things so that we can bring science closer to the people. Thank you and welcome, Johansen. Yes.
Thank you so much. Great. Thank you so much, Stephanie, for the introduction. And
Welcome.
um, yeah, I wish you all like a really great uh, evening as we talk about indigenous people and biodiversity. Thank you.
Welcome.
Great. So we're talking tonight about indigenous people and biodiversity, and I'm going to quickly go to the definition of indigenous people. And so let me confirm with Stephanie if my screen is okay. Is it fine? Yeah, is my presentation okay? Is it visible? Okay, so the definition of indigenous and local knowledge or indigenous people and local communities are often context specific and very within and across regions. So uh, you might find that in this region, indigenous people are not considered as local communities. Okay, and in another region, they're one and the same. Okay, and so who are indigenous people? In Kenya, we have two main groups of indigenous people, including hunters and gatherers and pastoralists. Okay, some are the Ogiek, mainly the people know, and some are the Turkana. And so in Kenya, uh, the people who identify with the indigenous movement are mainly nomadic herders and hunters and gatherers. Okay, as well as some fishing communities. You can find them along uh, Lake Victoria, Lake Turkana, Baringo, yeah, and also Tana River. Okay, and so when we look at indigenous and local knowledge systems, um, find that indigenous and local knowledge systems are also responsible or guide the way biodiversity is understood. Okay, so I'm going to share a short clip, and then we're going to understand the indigenous and knowledge and local knowledge systems in a while. Great. So I hope you enjoyed and came to learn about um, the work of the UN in trying to sustain indigenous people and also indigenous knowledge so that we can prevent biodiversity from eroding or getting totally lost. Okay, so we get from the short clip that indigenous communities, indigenous people, indigenous knowledge, yeah, and local systems are important in safeguarding our biodiversity. For what reasons? Because indigenous people um, keep help to depend on biodiversity for their livelihoods. Okay, and since they depend on their biodiversity on biodiversity for their livelihoods, they have to sustain it. They have to replenish it. They have to keep farming um, mixed variety of crops, and also have to keep on taking care of their animals, taking care of the different types of animals in a natural way, so that they can have them every other day. Great. So continuing with my presentation. So wow. So we want to discover what indigenous and local knowledge systems. Okay, and we find out that indigenous and local knowledge systems are, in general, understood to be bodies of integrated holistic social and ecological knowledge. Okay, and also practices and beliefs pertaining to the relationship of living beings, including people with one another and within their environment. So, indigenous and local knowledge systems um, are integrated, and also they form the core of the understanding of one human and his or her environment. For instance, you find that indigenous and local knowledge systems are these knowledge systems that have been learned or that have been developed independently of civilization, or you can say of modernization, or of in some contexts you can say even of Western involvement, or development that has come from Western countries. So when the ancient generations from the ancient generations came the understanding of the local environments, and and this means that the understanding of the immediate environment allows them to relate to it in a way that it can sustain them, that it can sustain their lives, it can sustain the lives of their family, and in return, the biodiversity gets taken care of. When you look at a single family, for example, the Maasai, they're pastoralists, and they're dependent on good pasture, yeah, and they're also dependent on a variety of herbs for curing certain ailments, and they're also dependent on a variety of animal products. Okay, so it is a responsibility to keep them safe. To It's their responsibility to continue farming sustainably. It's their responsibility to keep on relating in a friendly manner with their environment, despite living in despite living in we could say uh, in a jungle, you could say that, but in a desert you could also say that, or you could also say like in a wildlife community, yeah, where they interact from time to time with lions, with other kind of wildlife. They have to find a means of surviving, because they're also because this wildlife also are important to their existence. Yeah, and indigenous and local knowledge, they are grounded in territory and are also highly diverse, and is continuously evolving through the interaction of experience, innovations, and various types of knowledge, including written, oral, visual, tactic, gendered, practical, and scientific. So when you come from one community to another, you find that they have different knowledge, different viewpoints about their environment. For instance, um, in a certain community, uh, the, you can find it in Maasai, they might know the medicinal value of a certain tree, while in another community, the same tree would be used only for timber or even for firewood. So they are grounded on territory, and there's need for continuous sharing of this knowledge, yeah, so that it doesn't get eroded or it doesn't get uh, so that it doesn't get lost along the way, so that it's passed from one generation to another. And in that way, then we'll be able to sustain a biodiversity effort that was started by our forefathers. So you find that local knowledge and also indigenous and scientific knowledge is highly diverse. It's different depending on different experiences and different land experiences over time, and it's also continuously evolving. Why? Because from one generation to the other, some information get lost, and some more information gets acquired, and with that, then people independently or collectively choose what to keep and what to leave behind. So we're gonna. So you experience, for example, right now, many young people like in my community have lost the viewpoint of their great grandparents about the environment. Okay, and right now we're heading to modernization, and rapid development is leading to loss of land, loss of biodiversity, or loss of habitation for different animals, and also loss of habitation for different plants. Okay, and as you know, biodiversity um, starts from the uh, we have three major components, which are the species, the genes, and the ecosystem. And right now we're talking about the ecosystem. Yeah, though within the ecosystem, we find animals and plants made up of different genes, and, and genes are the biological components that make one organism or living organism different or unique from the other. Okay, and as they evolve, as we compound the genetic component, then we find the species. Okay, and we find like there are animals. The animals like the chicken, the duck, um, they don't fly. And then you find out also the kind of plants that are shrubs. You find that some are trees. You find that some are um, you just find like a big variation or like different levels of plants. Okay, same to birds, same to human beings, and also same to different mammals. Okay, so we're gonna see you know our last clip, if possible, to the time. Great. So again, we can come back to biodiversity. So it is the it refers to a variety of life on Earth at all of its levels, from genes to ecosystems, and can encompass the evolutionary, ecological, and cultural processes that sustain life. So another name is biological diversity, and biology is you can say the study of life in its simplest. And so the it's like the variety of life forms, okay, and we have life forms, different life forms, okay. We have the plants and the animals as the main divide, okay, and so um, we have thousands and thousands of species of animals and thousands of species of plants, okay, and we need these, okay, because the world, our environment, the ecosystem is interdependent, okay. The loss of one kind of species means that or the loss of one kind of component from the planet means that the rest of the life forms is in danger. Okay, so we won't be, we wouldn't say we wouldn't say that we are privileged when we're losing maybe elephants, when we're losing um, antelopes, or when we're losing our trees. We are not safe as humans. Even if we have life and we're breathing, maybe oxygen, and we are planting our our crops in a certain kind of field. Yeah, why? Because because the loss of trees, for example, means we're going to experience climate change, and the loss of a kind of a species of animal or plants mean that the the other level, the higher level of that um, species that depends on the lost organism or on the lost species for food will suffer. Yeah, and it will consequentially lead to the suffering of the other dependents. Okay, in the food chain, and so we want to explore how indigenous people help to sustain biodiversity. Okay, and that's going to be the last thing we're going to look at tonight. And before that, I want to invite Stephanie again for a short break. Stephanie,
Hello, Johansen. Thank you so very much for taking us through biodiversity and how everything else affects the biodiversity. Sorry. I would like to invite Caroline. Caroline has something interesting for us, and I'm looking forward to seeing what she has. And also, let's all participate and enjoy what is coming. Yes.
Okay, hey everybody. Okay, today I'm
I
wearing hand earrings. Yeah, so today we're going to do a small Kenyan dance. Yeah, so I request all of us to just do dance. We can dance where we are, seated where we are. Yeah. So I'll start us off and I'll dance like that.
little dance, little dance.
Yeah, so we can all dance.
This is the even
Yeah.
himself. Even the second to dance.
As we take popcorn, we can dance and dance. Dance.
Just come with the good. This is himself.
Yeah.
Paco?
Yeah.
You can go.
Where is the music?
Music, we can produce our own.
Johansen, where is the music? We are dancing a cappella. Wait, Caroline, you're really feeling the music. Johansen, I can't.
Bakari.
You're still dancing.
Very good. Yeah, I'm still dancing.
You must be feeling the music so much. That's nice. I hope the rest of the guys were also dancing as much as we were and enjoying ourselves in the background.
Oh, yeah, they were.
That was really fun.
It was.
I think we should do that again.
We will.
Yes. So I think Johansen will continue with his talk, and then we'll have to organize another dance with real music. Caroline, you will have to bring music.
I'll bring.
I think we're gonna have
Yes,
music.
Johansen.
I think we're gonna have music after this.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes,
so,
we should. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, so
Okay. Johansen, please take us through the other session so that we can dance after that. Yes.
great.
Mm-hmm.
Great. Welcome back. I hope you enjoyed the music. Also about like work in Africa, like work in Kenya, the experiences you have traveling around Kenya. So that's like um, the eye of indigenous communities, because like what you could see in the paper is about different parts of Kenya. I saw Turkana, I saw Masai, I saw some communities also in some peri-urban places, but not the really urban places. So it was interesting. So great. Just So we want to now establish the link between um, the the indigenous communities and the and biodiversity itself. Okay, so great. Let's dive into this. So, how do indigenous people help to sustain biodiversity? Um, we find this indigenous and local knowledges are the interface between biological and cultural diversity. This is sustained and made both individually and collectively. In this way, uh, indigenous knowledge, the experience that the indigenous communities get over time, passed from generation to generation, help them to make decisions or choices about their biodiversity or about the environment that ultimately affects um, biodiversity. And some of the support factors include cultural diversity. For instance, it's a culture for many indigenous communities to use um, traditional medicine. So, because they're dependent on traditional medicine for the cure, then they will sustain the trees and they will secure the some animals so that they can depend on animal products. They will sustain um, the some kind of vegetables and and try to make sure that they're not lost totally. Okay, so it's by the experience, the land experience, and the interactions with the environment that helps them to make these kind of changes. So, manifestation of indigenous and local knowledge are evident in many social and ecological systems. For example, in my community, I live in Lake Victoria, not in Lake Victoria, but around Lake Victoria in Kisumu City. So we have fishermen who have the skill passed from generation to generation, and right now they still use the same fishing methods um, to earn their livelihood. How is that? Um, some fishermen go and fish at night, yeah, so that um, because at night when they use their fishing torches, then they can attract fish better. And also they have like belief systems where at night then they can easily um, fish in a calm and quiet place, or maybe the waters are calm. And also they have to feed the fish in the water with different kinds um, of animals, including the earthworm. Okay, so they have to bring the earthworm. They have to make sure that the food of the fish is available, so they can get the fish. So we can see that the biodiversity is interdependent. Okay, the ecosystem is interdependent. Okay, so in this context, then the approach understands biocultural diversity as biological and cultural diversity and the links between them. So we have the biological and cultural diversity and the links between them. So what are the links between biological and cultural diversity? I hope to find that kind of an answer in the comment section over YouTube and Facebook. What is the link between biological and cultural diversity? If no one answers, then I will ask Caroline or Stephanie to answer that while we get finished with the talk tonight. Great. So a hint is biological diversity is the variation in life forms. Okay, and the cultural diversity is the uniqueness of different people and uniqueness of how people do their stuff. Okay, and so so such knowledge, this traditional knowledge, this indigenous knowledge, can provide information methods theory and practice for sustainable ecosystem management. Okay, and most indigenous and local knowledge systems are empirically tested, applied, contested, and validated through different means in different contexts. So we find that this knowledge system, the local knowledge systems, okay, can be proved differently. For example, when when you go to a certain indigenous community, you find that you find that they use some kind of shrubs or leaves to treat different types of ailments, including maybe stomach ache or even malaria. Okay, and so empirically, you could find that you can prove that as a valid way of treating malaria that applies to that community. Okay, so we cannot underestimate local knowledge systems. We cannot underestimate indigenous knowledge, okay, because they're so useful in providing information and also means or practices for sustainable ecosystem management. For example, we have sustainable farming, and that includes that, inclu- that includes mixing different kind of crops in one farm, like a garden, yeah. And you find that these help to sustain the seeds or sustain the species of the kind of plants that are grown here, and also um, different plants where they're together, they act as uh, they are like they become pest resistant, and also like they become more resilient to different kind of attacks for crops, and also same to animals. And so just to end our conversation tonight, and also credits to um, working with indigenous local and scientific knowledge in assessment of nature and nature's linkage with people. Uh, we I want to give a call to action. The we embrace our knowledge, our local knowledge, and we use it for the sake of, and we use it to continue sustaining our community, to continue sustaining our communities, cultural practices, and also to continue sustaining our local environment, we are able to so that we are able to build a more resilient community, to build a more resilient nation, to be a more resilient ecosystem, an ecosystem that is resilient to climate change, that is resilient to food insecurity, that is resilient to different forms, including conflicts. Yeah. So we find that biodiversity, biodiversity loss also causes conflicts and different kinds of challenges uh, in terms, including also it affects the peace within the community. It makes resources scarce, and then people start fight over them. Yeah, and so I'm really grateful had a that we had a great moment this night, great half an hour. So we have Stephanie Okeo saying that she's happy to be in this space. Thank you, Stephanie. And we don't have a response about what I just asked. So I'm going to invite Caroline to give an answer. Caroline, I hope you're ready.
Sure.
Great, you're welcome. Do you have an answer
What's
to
the
the question?
question?
Can you, yeah?
Yes, I didn't hear your question.
Oh, great. My question was, what is the link between biological diversity and cultural diversity? What are some of the links you know?
Okay, I am okay. In my perspective, I think that when we talk about biological diversity, we're talking about the variety of the living organisms. It's biological in nature. So the difference or the variety of living organisms from all sources. So we have the terrestrial, we have the marine, we have the aquatic ecosystem. So different ecosystems mainly interact with each other. So when we talk about the ecosystem, we're also talking about how living organisms interact with each other, and then they provide biotic factors of the environment. Yeah, when we look at the cultural diversity, we're talking about the different cultures. I think it's about different countries, how they have been able to collaborate with different cultural aspects to have different variety of animals in their and ecological species in their country. So I think that's the main difference between the two. Yeah.
Okay, awesome, great.
Okay.
I like your response. Yeah. So, like for example, I come from a rural community, and it's also a very diverse community because you have like a lot of other subgroups. Okay, and
Yeah.
even though the culture is slowly eroding, especially for those living in urban areas. I'm not sure about you, Caroline. How about your culture? Are you rich? Do you have like the rich cultural diversity uh, in you like going on, or it's past in time already? What's your
Yeah.
experience
I
with it?
think Yeah, I think there's erosion of cultural diversity all over because also in my tribe where I come from, we have most people moving to the urban areas, and the people who are left in the rural areas are who are not able to understand themselves well better. They're not able to know more about the environment. So I think it's actually that decrease in cultural exchange and all that. Yeah,
Oh, great.
yeah.
Great, great. And so Stephanie is going to come back and help us to wind up, lead us to a dance, and we're going to close the night. But then, before then, so what are the kind? What is some um, cultural practice in your community that you think is helping to preserve or sustain biodiversity? Harley?
Okay, I've not been here for so long, so most of the time I stay in Nairobi, but by looking at my culture, we have most of the people have been able to conserve the environment by because we have a protocol where we don't allow people to cut down trees. Yeah, we don't allow deforestation is actually disregarded here. We in the past we had people burning charcoal and all that, but this was actually discouraged. So any person who is seen with charcoal, they have to be questioned and all that, and it's actually an offense nowadays. So I think there's that bond of people engaging with the environment and people embracing the environment and planning to ensure that we don't cut down trees. We want to increase the species. We don't want to have a situation where we are changing the environment because trees and rain and all that. So most of the time nowadays we have most people here are very strict about deforestation. So we're actually building trees and we are planting more and more trees in this region. Yeah, when I go to Embu, that's where I come from, we have people, especially the youth. The youth in Embu are very much keen on planting trees, and there's something that's very positive and it's very good for the scientific environment. Yeah,
Oh, great,
yeah,
great. That's beautiful. Like it means like your community is going to be more prone to climate change, to different changing weather patterns because of you could say water buffers because they help to prevent flash floods. At the same time, they help to prevent the variation in rainfall. And also, yeah, oh great,
yes.
that's beautiful. And I hope like you continue with that. So like yeah. continue adding to their efforts. Great. And
Yeah, I
also,
will.
yeah.
I
So
definitely.
in my community, we have some medical traditional medicine that's still going on. Traditional medicine, which include detoxification, some antibiotics that are fetched locally from different plants, and so they continue to plant them. They continue to plant some. There's some seeds that are gotten from some burger which looks like ododo, very big ododo, and the seeds are like so good to have to destroy tumors and all kind of stuff. So while we are learning this, and now also trying to bridge the gap between indigenous knowledge and modern science, uh,
Yeah. Herbal medicine.
yeah, yeah. So
Okay.
we can try like to explore, and I think the intermediaries are the high school students, the university students, because you find that the knowledge holders are the very old people, yeah, and uh, and now the indigenous, now the current generation is depending so much on modern science, yeah, and
Yeah.
losing touch of the indigenous science. So there's need to collaborate between the modern scientists and also the knowledge holders, and active participation
Yeah.
with students,
Desensitization.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, the active participation between, no, not between, active participation of intermediaries, including the high school students and and university students, so that they understand where they're coming from. They understand the kind of issues that there are in the community, because we have a lot of techniques in hosted or like um, be held by the indigenous community that can be useful even in current development. Yeah, so we need to embrace it and use it. So I was really glad to have this session tonight. Also, one thing maybe I can leave with us is that I'm more and more I'm getting to understand my community better and embrace the kind of knowledge, intuition, and technologies that they have. Yeah, and so wow. So
Okay.
good. Do you have anything to close by? I think I think Stephanie is gonna come back in a few. But then, if you have anything to close by, we're gonna dance. Susanna Wheel. Okay. I don't know. Like, I don't know if you heard this song before, but it's I just want to give this as a gift to our audience, as a cultural song from where I come from. Yeah. So you have something to close up.
Okay. I don't think so.
Okay.
Maybe maybe I can close up with just a parting shot of Science Code Africa, because that's an organization that just started in Kenya.
Okay.
And I would like to sensitize more and more students from across Kenya to join Science Code Africa. It's a very great platform. It's going to be very helpful for the students, and it's going to help students embrace STEM, science, technology, engineering, mathematics. And this one is going to be very good for African students to interact. We are looking at a situation where we're going to have students of science across Africa being merged. Okay, that's a long-term goal of this organization. We just want to ensure that what is what meets the African standard is also what meets the international standard. So those are the main plans that we have as our team of Science Sport Africa. And actually the headquarters are in Nigeria. And we plan to move across the world. We also have representatives in Chile. Yeah, it's a great thing. It's a great platform, and we encourage more and more of students and to be part of us. Yeah,
Okay. Great. Great. And we hope to join you and hope to work together also to spread
yeah.
science.
Please, we will
So
collaborate. Yes.
yeah, awesome, awesome. Great. So
Thank
thank you so much. Thank you, Caroline, for tonight for coming on board, and also we're glad to pass the information about Science School to our audience, also the high school students to join, and also find ways on when Pint of Science team can visit and share science, demystify science to the students. Okay, great. So I will look forward to have you tomorrow
Yeah, we
for
will.
yeah, great. Also, like if there's some members from your team can join in and also like share some of the thoughts about different subjects on science, and we're gonna great, and we're gonna have a great time. Yeah.
Okay, thank
So
you.
as we close, it's gonna be time for two songs. We're gonna have Susanna, are we or Amia? It's party time to close up, and then lastly to as you go to rest tonight. Thank you so much for watching Pint of Science tonight, and looking forward tomorrow to three other incredible speakers, including Diana Quinoa, Hudson, Konya, we also have Luke Kelo. They're going to be speaking about different subjects, and tune in tomorrow to find out. Great. So, just Caroline, please let me know if you can hear the song that I'm playing in the background. Can you hear it?
Yes, I can.
Okay. You can sing it.
Thank you.
Tumkoko chako erenga makonya miel formula onge miela miela kartiendi tumkoko chako erenga makonya miel kikiluor formula onge angoma moni miel angoma moni dunyo angoma moni yengo angoma moni tusofa Nyona, miela, miel marito wat, miel maloso wat, formula onge, miela katieri, formula onge, angoma moni, miel, angoma moni, dunyo, angoma moni, yengo, angoma moni, tusofa, miela, wanwa miele, miela, wanwa miela, wanwa miela, wanwa yenge, wayenge, wayunye, wanyuse, wayenge, wanwa miela, wayenge, formula unge, miela katieri, formula unge, miela katieri, formula unge, angoma moni, angoma moni miel, angoma moni, angoma moni dunyo, angoma moni, angoma moni yego, angoma moni, angoma moni duso. Miela miela, wanwa miela miela, miela miela, wanwa miela miela miela, wanwa miela miela, wanwa miela, wanwa miela, wanwa miela miela, wanwa yenge, wanwa juzela, wanwa dunye, miela 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 miela, wanwa miela miela, wanwa yenge, wanwa juze, wanwa dunye, miela 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 miela. Miela 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 miela, formula ube, formula ube. Wanwa juze, miela miela miela, formula ube, formula ube. Wanwa juze, miela miela miela, miela miela katili, formula ube. Nguo yangu wasenesi mwakire mtuzina sana nenda finira chechemekwe. Nguo yangu wasenesi mwakire mtuzina sana nenda finira chechemekwe. Nguo yangu wasenesi mwakire mtuzina sana nenda finira chechemekwe.